Hey everyone, so I'm back with my Makermade Maker300. This is my first 3D printer. So as I've said in previous videos, I'm not a pro, I'm not an expert. This is something new to me. The thing that I liked about this printer, one of the many things I liked about this printer, big build plate, 300 by 300 by 400 for a good market price for this printer. The other thing was this steel frame. So this all metal frame makes it heavy, makes it rigid, really nice, and it also has a pre-made spot to put a Raspberry Pi 3. That is a key. I tried putting a Raspberry Pi 4 in here, and a Raspberry Pi 4 will not fit. The Ethernet and the USB ports are flipped. The Ethernet is about 1 to 2 millimeters smaller than an Ethernet in height. Therefore, they're just not compatible. The 4, for whatever reason, they made that change, so it negates it from fitting in this predetermined spot for the Maker300. So, that being said, Raspberry Pi 3B Plus has onboard onboard Wi-Fi, and I just decided to get it. I sent the 4 back. So a couple things that are really great. It's got a spot for the camera cable to come through if you're going to use a ribbon cable like I purchased. I got this one because it was like 13 bucks. It's a small little camera. It does a sufficient job. All I'm trying to do is capture the videos where it does hyperlapse. If I determine in the future this is not sufficient, I'll take it out, and you can put in USB any camera that you want with it. The other thing that's great is they left enough space in this hole where they've run the cables through to get the Raspberry Pi power cord fed through there. So even with this big, I don't know what they call this, big plastic knob on the power cord, it still fit through there perfectly fine. This power cord has an on-off switch, and the cable's long enough that I can run it to the back of the machine and plug it into the wall. So I feel like this is going to be a great setup. The only thing I've got to do now is work out my 3D print for this camera. The one I've printed twice now has not worked. These holes do not line up with the mounting studs, so I'm not sure if it's a settings issue or if it's a size issue. I'm going to take a look at that a little bit later. And I'm also interested, this is something I don't know, again I'm new, I'm interested in knowing, is it possible to power the Raspberry Pi from any of these pins on the main board? That would be really cool if it is capable of doing so. If not, then what I've got is, perfectly well suited. I did flash this Raspberry Pi 2 or 3 days ago. Actually, I flashed it to the Pi 4, and I'm going to put that SD card in here and see if it works. If it doesn't, I'll start over with that. I'm hoping it just works, picks up. That was a little bit challenging for me, I'm not going to lie. This is my very first use of a Raspberry Pi. I honestly have never even seen one before this week. So it was interesting. It was very good. The video I watched on YouTube was Chris's Basement. He did a couple different walkthroughs on Octoprint, and man, it was great. Really kind of saved me because I was struggling with it. So overall, that's it. This little tiny mounting screws. Right down here, there's mounting studs. I'll pull this out. I don't have it locked in yet. So it's got an opening on the bottom for the fan. It does have a bigger opening here, so if you did have to route your power cable underneath, totally a possibility. If you had to route anything underneath, you have more than enough space under this frame to do so. I mean, my whole finger fits under there without any problems. So that would definitely not be something that would set you back. And again, I really liked the idea of this frame housing all of the electronics inside. This desk is very small. When I'm out in my garage running my printer, my workstation is even smaller. So I really need the footprint of the printer to be the footprint of the printer. So really enjoying this. So that's it for that. I'm not going to walk through the whole setup and bore you with all the details that you can see on 1,000 other YouTube videos. I just wanted to show off the fact that this printer did make a housing. I'm sure there's others out there that have done something similar, but I've not seen them. So this was one of the reasons I decided to go with this printer, along with several other options that they have. All right, well, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you checking in.